This is the goddess Tara. Revered by both Buddhists and Hindus, the deity symbolizes mercy and compassion. This statue of her, one of Sri Lanka's most sacred and valuable antiques, is cast in bronze and plated in gold. But for almost 200 years, it was on display miles away at the British Museum in London. Historians believe that the worship of Tara began around 6th century AD, and statues of her were likely to be housed in temples across Sri Lanka and other parts of South Asia. While she is no longer worshipped in Sri Lanka, she is still popular in other South Asian regions where Buddhism is practiced, such as Nepal, Tibet, and Mongolia. The statue of Tara that stands at the British Museum today was found in Ceylon's eastern province between 1812 and 1822, when the country was under British rule. Scholars believe it was likely to have been sculpted between 8th and 10th centuries and skillfully designed to depict what was perceived to be the epitome of feminine beauty and grace. Cavities found on parts of the statue suggest that it was originally decorated with gemstones, which over time have been lost or stolen. The then governor of Ceylon, Robert Brownrigg, gifted it to the British Museum in 1930. It was initially hidden away as the statue's nudity was considered too obscene to be put on display. Tara was kept in a secret storeroom at the museum called Secretum for roughly 30 years, along with other treasures taken from British colonies around the world but deemed inappropriate for the Victorian public. It was only in 1960, some 130 years after the statue was taken from Sri Lanka, that it was put on display. It is now displayed in room 33 of the museum, alongside other artifacts from ancient civilizations across South Asia. Recently, artifacts from former colonies, like Tara, that remain under the ownership of colonizing powers have come under increasing public scrutiny. The Netherlands, for example, announced last year that stolen colonial-era artifacts would be returned to their countries of origin. Also last year, institutions in France and Scotland both returned sculptures looted from West Africa. British museums and institutions have been slow to respond to requests from former colonies to return their belongings and currently own the largest collection of Sri Lankan cultural property outside of the island. While discussions and debates surrounding the return of artifacts like Tara continue, Sri Lankans will have to make do with a replica of the statue which is on display at the Colombo's National Museum.